Hold on a second more. All right, and we're clear. We're clear. Still there, man? What the? What the heck? All right, we're clear. Yep. So just let me do a couple more. Just all right. Try to talk a little louder.
I think I'm talking loud enough.
All right, and feel free to tune in to the stream to kind of watch what's going on.
Yeah, because, well, yeah, I have no idea what's going on. So,
Right. All right. Let's just get to the meat of this right now.
so what would that be?
Take a guess who just did something stupid again.
Onision, right?
And you would be correct.
So what did he do this time?
All right. All right. So there's this YouTuber called Mr. Repson. Who he has gone head to head with before, mainly because some of his most popular videos of him, you know, like responding to stuff that he does.
Okay.
All right, so what does he do this time? Well, he emails a cease and desist letter that he wrote himself, mind you, which I'm not even sure if that's legal. And so he just tells them take down all the videos you made about it because they're slanderous, blah blah blah. When he's only responding to what you've done, and what people are telling everybody.
That doesn't seem like exactly for what he's ever done.
Well, it's still stupid because he's like threatening to sue him when he's got no evidence and stuff like that. And plus, here's the problem with that. If there was a cease and desist, a lawyer would have contacted him, not Onision himself. Like I said, I'm pretty sure what he did was not legal.
Probably not.
Because that is a legal document. It just gets to the point where you're just like, what is going on? And he's not the only person he's done this to over the years. He's done it to many of his exes. I don't. All right, so we could just leave it at that. He's just being an egocentric idiot who thinks everybody owes everything. Well, the truth is, boy, you can't. We don't owe you anything. Sorry. I wish he would realize that. Because you want to know something? He has just been... Alright, and let me say this. So, you know that whole Patreon incident that went down? With him harassing his patrons that unpledged?
Yeah.
I have a message to him. Message to those people who who unpledged. If he's harassing you, report him to Patreon. report him. I'm not even kidding. Because he's been getting away with one thing after another for far too long, and it's time it stops. What do you think?
Yeah, he hasn't gotten caught yet, though.
He has been found guilty of things all the time, but yet he hasn't been to jail yet.
Seems like luck is on his side so far.
But you all know that luck is soon going to run out.
Eventually, it doesn't last forever.
Luck is going to soon run out, and therefore it's gonna be an even worse situation for him. Like, knowing him, let me just tell you, with all the money he owes to the IRS, if he can't come up with the money soon, he is going to prison. Which,
I bet he's got real fun in prison.
from how he looks, he might be made somebody's wife. I wouldn't wish that.
Probably.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, but it's probably true.
That probably would happen.
All I can say is it's most likely true. Like, I'm not saying this to say that I wish that on him. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But let me just say that that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's one of the worst things you can get in prison.
And do you think any gang's gonna want him in prison?
No, probably not.
Considering I can't think of many prison gangs that actually fit his beliefs, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't think there's a prison gang like that out there.
I know there most likely isn't, but though I have seen some that have some sort of beliefs that might intertwine with his, but let me just tell you, they're not to that. I don't think they're to really his extent.
Probably not.
And for the fact, and when they, and another thing that makes me think that. Hold on a sec. Oh, my dad's in the chat.
Oh, he adds in the chat? Huh.
Apparently, I don't know.
Love it.
Alright, so yeah, there's no question. He's just gonna be. There's really, you know what? He's gonna end up in his fate, and all we can do is say when that happens, see ya.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Am I right?
Yeah, just bye-bye.
One question: are you watching the stream, dude?
Yeah, like at some mountain cabin. Yeah, I remember this is where you go hunting, right?
Yep. We're heading to the countryside today.
You did? How was it?
No, in the game, we're heading to the countryside of San Andreas today.
Oh, okay. I bet you actually went out to the countryside like, oh, sweet.
And also, speaking of trips, there is one thing you still haven't done yet, is show me some pictures of your dang trip.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I haven't. Yeah, I'll definitely have to do that next time we meet. I can't believe I haven't yet.
Yeah. Apparently you used one of the photos as your cover photo.
Oh no, that's just one I found on the internet a while ago.
Alright. I mean, it's almost convincing, too.
It is pretty convincing indeed.
Alright, so... Alright, in other words... Now it's time to... Now you know about the show 90 Day Fiancé, right?
Oh yeah, it's one of those shows we have to date a guy for 90 days or something like that, right?
No, not exactly. It's basically a show where, well, you're half right, but that's only the little part of it. Here's what this thing is that there are these Americans that, you know, like, they meet somebody from a foreign country, whether it be, you know, like, say Malaysia, Russia, Ukraine, whatever, Romania.
Okay.
All right, just from other countries, and so they get a 90-day visa, and so they're basically going to get married in 90 days. That is, if they can stay together during that whole ordeal. It's just nothing but cash and drama that honestly, I know a lot of people like it, but I personally cannot stand it.
I can agree with you. Shows like that just tend to be garbage.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh,
Here's
Jason or whatever the heck his name is, I'm gonna marry him in like 30 days and
90 days. 90 days. Sorry, 90 days. 90 days. Sorry. Sorry, but
I'm gonna marry him in 90 days. You know, I just met him, and then they like get to have those typical dramatic fights and everything. And it's like I'm tired of you, man.
sometimes it happens that way. But so some of the, you know, like foreign fiancés may have opposite tensions, but there are some of the Americans that are just as bad. Like, we have this one guy who pretty much lied to his foreign fiance in order to basically get her to come over. When honestly he had lost his job and he's basically living off other people.
Lovely.
I mean, it is ridiculous, you know?
I mean,
And also, then we have this, and also, sometimes the opposite, is that they go to set place to meet their fiance. Well, let me just say that alright, so there was this, there was this kind of heavy woman who was, I can't remember where this guy is from for the life of me, but alright, so she's heavy and this guy is, I would say fit at best because he's a little thin. If you know what I mean. Alright, so okay, let's just get this out of the way. Where does he take her the first day they meet?
well, let me guess. Is it something like Walmart or McDonald's or something?
No. In fact, it's actually something a little rude.
Oh boy, what is it?
The gym.
The gym, huh?
And here's
Well,
now
I can see about looking for some couples, but only a few specific
And you want to know? And here's the thing: he flat out admits the reason he did it. Because she's fat.
Yeah.
So,
That's definitely just, yeah.
all right, if you do it in, like, if it was just a normal context or whatever, and they were just going there, whatever. But no, he flat out admits his why he's doing it, and that makes it all worse.
You know, why can't things like courtship and romance and dating, you know, why don't we ever stay now? Can we just go back to how things used to be? A dude meets a girl, they get to know each other and all that, and then they get married or whatever, and they still be it. That was like, oh yeah, marry me in 90 days, or I'm gonna lie and cheat on you, and I'm gonna, and that goes to both genders.
It's
So
not.
what's up with that, huh?
It's not exactly that they're gonna do it in 90 days. Because if they don't do it in 90 days, their visa is up and they get sent back. But most of these people, it seems like, let me tell you, that whole show just seems like a huge punch in the face to, like, immigration reformers. What do you think?
Well, that would definitely be an interesting form of immigration. It's just like, hey, just marry someone in the U.S. within 3 months and
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Yeah, I believe it has something to do with the green card, but let me just say I'm not going to go too much into the political aspect, but that's what the show seems like. It's just a big punch in the face to, people who are about immigration reform, I swear. I'm pretty sure you can agree.
It definitely is something crazy, indeed. I still just can't get over the fact of how modern dating has become like that, pretty much.
All right. So back on, and I've shown you this particular one. I believe it was we were watching Sniper Wolf's reaction to it. It basically this older woman who is literally I don't even know what to say, how to describe her, but she just ends up, so she's like 50 something if I remember correctly. And that guy was, I think, in his late 20s, maybe early 30s, maybe late 30s. I don't know, can't remember. But they said that they had one specific problem. Like she was saying, "Oh, you're not doing it with me," blah blah blah.
Okay.
Blah. And do you remember the reason?
Nah.
Because she doesn't keep a specific area clean.
Oh yeah. Now I remember that. He was just like, he went through with it. The kitchen don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't get. All right. For one, if you're trying to impress somebody, and this is just a rule for any date, don't stink, man.
I think we can all agree with that, Will.
Because that's not really respectful.
And that goes with both genders, just so you ladies out there know. Us guys can't stink either.
Yeah, and let's just say it like this. What I've come to a conclusion about TLC is the fact that they didn't used to be this way back in the 90s.
And how were they back in the 90s?
In fact, do you even know what TLC actually stands for? The Learning Channel, which they should change it by now, but apparently they had all this education, like sort of like adult, like a little older, like learning interesting things on the channel. But now I pretty much nicknamed it the Exploitation Network.
Yeah, I can't believe it's considered a learning channel still. Come on, change the name already.
Yeah, change it away. Like, yeah, it just gets me to the point. Like, I'm not saying TLC hasn't had like a couple good shows that keep my interest. Yes, and are actually good to watch. Even if like they're not perfect, like Cake Boss. Do you know? You wonder what you want to know what made that show so great?
What's that?
Is that you don't watch for the people on there. You watch for the creations that they make. In fact, they what do they make? They make cakes for all different occasions.
Yeah, I do remember seeing shows like that. A ton of shows like that.
I mean, like it's kind of like that show Tanked. You watch for what they make, not really for the people behind it. Okay, and on another end, old you know Michael Green, his brother,
Yeah.
AGP son? Well,
Yeah.
well, it turns out Charlie has made a return to YouTube.
Again?
Yeah, and then let me tell you, this past time, it's been the longest he's ever gone.
Is he a crazy drug addict still?
Not so far, not that I can see, but knowing his history, he could relapse. Who knows? We've pretty much, after that whole incident that happened like almost 2 years ago, when that all crap went down.
Yeah.
All right, and for those of you who don't know, so Charlie Green is the brother of Michael Green, like AGP, Angry Grandpa, whatever, his son. All right, so he's one of the kids. So for now, early on, he wasn't really part of like the channels because he was being in and out of jail, being into trouble constantly, pretty much throughout almost his whole life. So I can't remember eventually, but eventually he comes to live with like AGP in the new house that Michael got him.
Alright.
That big house. But there are problems. Like, for one, he was unemployed and he wasn't doing crap to help around the house, and plus he was living there rent free.
Alright.
And all he was doing is just playing games all day and just doing stuff not helping. So eventually Michael got sick of it and was like, okay, we're going to give you a channel, give you something to pay your bills and whatnot. Bills, but like just have money, like to do basically to make a living. Well, so they did that, and due to like Michael's prompting, he gained 100,000 subscribers.
Dang.
And apparently that had a very big impact on his ego. Like, he was comparing himself to Kurt Cobain. He's like, oh, now I know why he killed himself, because he had all this power. And in case you don't know who Kurt Cobain is, he's Nirvana. He's I think he was like the main singer and guitarist of that music group. But like he was one of those musicians that committed suicide.
Yeah, he shotgun, if I remember right.
Yeah, that is correct. And some people, and like, and some conspiracy theorists had actually thought that his wife Courtney Love did it.
Or the Illuminati.
but the thing is, apparently she was in rehab in a completely different state when it happened. All right, so enough about Kurt Cobain. Let's just get back. So he was comparing himself to him and saying, "Oh, I know because he had all this power." Well, then here's when things took a turn for the worse. All right, so he got kicked out of AGP's house for basically giving one of the nephews, who was a kid, like, I think it was alcohol and drugs even, and was threatening to hurt him if he didn't take it.
It's like, here, kid, take some cocaine. You'll freaking love it.
Yeah, and so then when that happened, it was all right. So that night, he got thrown out, like out of AGP's place, and rightfully so. Am I right?
Of course.
And rightfully so. So he, like, so literally, and so Angry Grandpa was like, like, they didn't put this in their vlog when it happened, but like after that whole thing went down and Michael's explaining what happened, and they, like he played like some audio from, like the night he got thrown out, and here's what AGB's final line was before he's like, something, go get your crap, you're going tonight. All right, so the idea is that, so they tried to play it off in a video like, oh, he's leaving to go on a new adventure or whatever. But there was a very severe backlash from the fans. Saying, oh, you need to help him, And Michael's just like, okay, maybe I do need to help him. So bad happened, but against with him having better judgment, like he let him stay in his pool house.
House. They didn't have pool house get destroyed.
I'm getting to that. So ever since then, he was drinking. Like he was getting crap-faced drunk every night. He was starting lunacy and trouble every night. Like he was going on his Facebook and I think his Twitter too, and he's threatening to kill people. And another thing that happened that was kind of minor was he uploaded 2 porn videos to his channel.
Okay.
And I'm not talking softcore either.
Oh boy. So he had the crazy stuff there, right?
Yep. So he was like, So then afterwards, we're so all right. So let's fast forward. So what? So one day they Michael and Bridget come home and he's running around. This is their description. They didn't film it, but he's running around the yard with no clothes on. No clothes on whatsoever. So they go to see what's wrong, and he was high on LSD, and he was hallucinating and getting belligerent. So they call the police, and he had destroyed the pool house. And I mean trashed it. It makes me quote. And also he had to go to the hospital because he burned his finger with, I think it was a blowtorch or something. They didn't say, but I can assume he was trying to burn his finger off because he was high or something, or burn down the pool house because he was high. I don't know. It was.
You have to be pretty high to try to burn your own finger off.
I mean, it's. So they sent him off to the hospital, and Michael's hoped that he could come back in a couple hours and sober, and they can talk about what happened. But is that what happened? And I think you know what the answer is.
No.
Nope, that's not what happened. And he, all right, so Michael's in the house. I can't remember what he was doing, but Bridget and I think her and someone else was outside, basically cleaning up the pool house because he wrecked it. And apparently he comes back and all right, so according to Michael, he heard screaming outside, and Charlie punched Bridget in the face. It's honestly, and I don't know if he was still high and belligerent or he was just pissed off. But he did it, and who's next? You might wonder what happened next. All right, so they call the police again, and and then he got arrested that night. And after that you wanted to believe that he was apologizing and sorry, right? But that one video he made apologizing, set people, including everybody in his family, over the edge because he was pretty much fake crying, and it was the ending that gave it away that he's not sorry for it. And is just trying to gain sympathy by fake crying. So yeah, that's how it all went down. And then there were some other things that happened that caused him to pretty much get pretty much, and he lost his channels. They got terminated because a bunch of other crap that he did. and now, and let me just tell you, he has been off of YouTube for I think a year now, up until a few weeks ago.
And when he uploaded that one video.
When he's uploaded a video just saying, oh, I know he had turned like to Facebook because he was basically going on a little traveling chow or whatever that he did with his current girlfriend.
This guy has a girlfriend? Oh, crap.
Yeah, and it's to the point where I am not even sure what to think because I know Michael's not going to talk about it anytime soon. Because for one, according to him, he's pretty much burned the bridge.
I can see that.
Burned the bridge, and he doesn't want, and he wants nothing to do with him. So that's pretty much the whole rundown of what happened, and you know, like what sparked the whole thing in the first place. Seriously, if he had that bad of a history and has done all that stuff to you throughout your childhood, and then he did that years later, would you want him back in your life again?
No, not really.
It's just. So yeah, that's pretty much the meat of tonight. I mean. So you got any stories from work today? Tales from the workforce.
Well, not today anyway. Today was just your average day. The last story I have is that whole garlic bread thing.
Yeah, the garlic bread.
Well, I guess on a different note, we did have one guy quit and one guy get fired not too long ago, so.
Do you know the reasoning?
Well, as for why the guy quit, I honestly don't know. I think he just got sick of the job. And as for the reason why the other dude got fired, well, I think it was because he had one too many absences.
Well, at least it wasn't for anything way worse.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. The guy quit and the guy got fired.
So what? So you got any? Like, do you? All right. So let's get on the topic of food here. Let's get on the topic of food here. I've sent you some cooking videos.
Yep, you have. That pizza one was good. I did like pizza, so. And then there was a sloppy joes. And then they think I'd see someone put brown sugar and Worcestershire sauce and sloppy joes, but.
Yeah, we gotta make some cooking videos one of these times.
That would be pretty interesting. The only
and I've made videos making drinks, but specifically mocktails, but Ron until the last drop. Must be some alcohol ad. Can you see what I'm looking at?
Yeah. Or some gas. I don't know.
And then you have, what's this? Better than roadkill.
Better than roadkill.
Yeah, one thing we definitely know about Rockstar is they can make a mockery out of pretty much anything.
Pretty much.
It's almost surprising how much they've gotten away with over the years.
I wonder if there's ever gonna be a GTA 6 or something.
Yeah, there's people talking about it. I wouldn't mind seeing, like mainly just, like an on its own game, like side game where it's where it's.
Yeah, dude, seems like I'm gonna have to let you go for a bit, alright?
All right, are you gonna call back at all?
I don't know if I am, not yet. Something just came up. So I have to get going now.
All right. I'll talk to you. Maybe we can continue this on tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Okay. See ya.